Hey, Corey with Creative Habitats here, talking to you about leaning trees. Now, a lot of people are really concerned about a tree that leans over their house. But I believe, based on my observation, it's more of a phobia that is irrational than it is something that's realistic. And let me explain to you why. If you drive down a country road, maybe sort of like the one that you see here, there will be trees that are leaning over that road all the time. You drive by them every day probably, you just don't know it because you're not looking for it. You look at the tree that's leaning over your house, but you don't look over the trees that are leaning over the road. I have an amazing example of a leaning tree that probably one of the most severe ones I've seen in quite some time, just to illustrate the fact that yes, it is possible that this tree is counterbalanced and it can fall over, but there's a lot of trees that are straight up that hit houses too in a storm. And what's interesting about this area that I'm in, Dulles, Georgia right now, and I want to say, based on some of the treetops I see around here, that this area got some hurricane damage from Hurricane Helen. But the tree that I'm about to show you is still standing. Check it out. Look at it. Look at that tree right there. That is super amazing. And the thing is, if you go down a country road here, let's zoom in here, look at that. Look at how that thing goes way over. In fact, this right here probably represents at least 10 years of growth. So this tree has been leaning like this for a good, man, look at this. Think about how long it's taken to grow. This is probably a 50-year-old tree, and I'd say for 30 of those years, it's been leaning pretty good. But here it stands. It's okay. So I'm not saying don't cut it down. I'll tell you, if my house was right here, what would I do with this? I'd cut it right here, and then I'd let it grow from there. But so often people are quick to cut down trees because of fear that, yeah, it's possible. It's possible you could drive down this road and you get hit by another car, but it's not likely. And I'm just saying, a lot of times people have beautiful trees like this and they're cutting them down over an irrational fear versus something that is actually statistically proven to be rational fear. So just take that to heart and evaluate things based on that.